Okay, so I'm gonna preface this by saying this is my first dating sim, I guess, if you would even call it that. I've heard a lot about Doki Doki. I'm probably one of the only people on the internet that hasn't played or even really watched anyone play this game. Mostly because I wasn't into the whole cute fucking anime aesthetic. I've gotten word from some friends that gets really fucked up and crazy, so I thought I might as well try it out. And if you haven't played this game, then there's usually a disclaimer before the main menu loads up that you have to agree to that says this game is not suitable for some people and you have to be over the age of like 13, I think, to play it. And that's really worrying. So we'll see how it goes from here. And hopefully, this will be the actual first series that I do from beginning to end, instead of going like 2 to 3 episodes in before I just completely stop. Now, I'm kind of sick, so hopefully it doesn't pick up too horribly on this. But fuck it. Let's do this. Go with Mikey. Let's see how this turns out. Okay. I see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. This girl is Sayori, my neighbor and good friend since we were children. Okay, off to a decent start. You know, the kind of friend you'd never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. I'm sure we've all had those friends. I don't have any friends, so I can't comment on that. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let Sayori catch up to me. What a good friend. What a good pal. I'm not doing any dialogue that I think is going to sound sexual, because I'm not that kind of guy. And I have people in other rooms that might hear me, and I don't want to have to deal with that. Sayori says she overslept again, but she caught us this time. Maybe only because I decided to stop and wait for you. I'm not reading. No, I'm not reading that. You say that like you were thinking about ignoring me. I'm not adding any sound effects because I'm not weird. And that's pretty mean. Well, if people stare at you for acting weird, then I don't want them to think we're a couple or something. Fine, she says. But you did wait for me after all. I guess you don't have it in you to be mean even if you want to. We'll have to see about that. Alright, we cross the street and make our way to school. That's nice. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute. By the way, Mikey, have you decided on a club to join yet? A club, she says? Jesus fucking Christ. I told you already, I'm not interested in joining any clubs. I haven't been looking either. That's not true, Sayori says. You told me you would join a club this year. Did I? Oh, I'm sure it's possible I did in one of our many conversations where I dismissively go along with whatever she's going on about. Sayori likes to worry a little too much about me when I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. Boy, if this isn't me to a T, then I really don't know what it is. I was talking about how I'm worried that you won't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. Thanks, Sayori, my only friend. Your happiness is really important to me, you know? You see, like a true friend. And I know you're happy now, but I die at the thought of you becoming a NEET? What the fuck is a NEET? In a few years, because you're not used to the real world. You trust me, right? Don't make me keep worrying about you. Alright, alright. I'll look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. Boy, we're off to a great start. No promises, though. Will you at least promise me you'll try a little? Sure thing, Sayori. I guess I'll promise you that. Yay, she says. Why do I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl? Who knows? Maybe we'll just see where this have to go from here. More than that, I'm surprised I even let myself relent to her. I guess seeing her worry so much about me makes me want to ease her mind at least a little bit, even if she does exaggerate everything inside of her head. Wow, now we're at school. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. Sayori wants me to check out some of the clubs. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Perfect. Hello? Sayori? Sayori must have come into the classroom while I was spacing out. I look around and realize that I'm the only one left in the classroom. I thought I'd catch you coming out of the classroom, but I saw you just sitting here and spacing out, so I came in. Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed. You don't need to wait up for me if it's going to make you late to your own club. Well, I thought you might need some encouragement, so I thought, you know. Know what? Well, that you could come to my club. Sayori. Yeah? There is no way I'm going to your club. And I'm meaning. Sayori is vice president of the literature club. Not that I was ever aware that she had any interest in literature. In fact, I'm 99% sure she only did it because she thought it would be fun to start a new club. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title Vice President. That said, my interest in literature is guaranteed to be even less. Yeah, I'm going to the anime club. Come on, please. Why do you care so much anyway? Well, I kinda told the club yesterday I would bring in a new member. Of course she fucking did, because that's what good friends do. They say stuff that they don't mean. Wonderful. And Natsuki made cupcakes and everything.
Well, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake and then go back home. There was...
Don't make promises you can't keep. I can't tell if Sayori is really that much of an airhead, or if she's so cunning as to have planned all of this out. I let out a long sigh. Ha. Fine, I'll stop by for a cupcake, okay?
and then go back home.
And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul for a cupcake. I dejectedly follow Sayori across the school and upstairs. Hold on. What the fuck happened to the audio? Maybe I'm just tripping. A section of the school I rarely visit being generally used for third-year classes and activities. Sayori, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. Everyone! The new member is here! I told you, don't call me a new member. I glance around the room. Welcome to the literature club. It's a pleasure meeting you, says girl number 1. Sayori always says nice things about you. Seriously, you brought a boy? Oh my god. Way to kill the atmosphere. Like, come on, a boy? Ew, gross. Jesus fucking Christ. What a nice surprise, says the one with a bow. welcome to the club, and that one knows my name, so we're sure to be good friends. Obviously. I don't know why I sound so sarcastic through this whole thing. Maybe I'm just like fucking projecting over the fact that I'm kind of scared, considering, like I said before, there was a fucking disclaimer and you had to sign an agreement at the beginning of this. Maybe I'm just trying to project myself as someone who's not scared when I'm absolutely terrified to see where this goes. All words escape me in this situation. Yeah, I'm the only dude. This is a harem at this point. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. Oh my god. What are you looking at? Says the mean one. If you want to say something, say it. Wow, she's a keeper. You could tell by the attitude. She's a lovely person. Okay, so that would be Natsuki, right? Yeah, okay. Cool, now I know her name. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is the one I don't recognize. So, do I know the other two then? Her small figure makes me think she's probably a first year. She is also the one who made cupcakes, according to Sayori. You can just ignore her when she gets moody. Sayori says that quietly in my ear, then turns back towards the other girls. Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy. And this is Yuri, the smartest in the club. Of course her name is Yuri. She tells her, don't say things like that. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have seems to have a hard time keeping up with people like Sayori and Natsuki. Ah, well, it's nice to meet the both of you, I say. And it sounds like you already know... Monica? That's right. It's great to see you again, Mikey. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Wow. Monica was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic, basically completely out of my league. Been there before, Mikey. Yes, you have, Mikey. Wonderful. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little what? Okay, come sit down, Mikey. We made a room for you at the table so you can sit next to me or Monica. I'll get the cupcakes. Natsuki will get them since she made them. Sayori says, sorry, I got a little too excited. Then how about I make some tea as well? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. As Sayori mentioned, it's a bit widened, so there's one space next to Monica and one next space to Sayori. Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner of the room where Natsuki grabs a wrapped tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Sayori. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! Anime sound effect. Natsuki lifts the foil off the tray and reveals a dozen white fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. A meow meow. The whiskers are drawn with the icing, and little pieces of chocolate were used to make the ears. That sounds fucking delicious. I fucking love cupcakes. I will take a dozen, please. So cute, she says. I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki, says Monica, our favorite so far in this whole thing. Well, you know, says Natsuki. Just hurry and take one. Sayori grabs one first, then Monica. I follow. It's delicious. Sayori talks with her mouth full and has already managed to get icing on her face. Wow, what a courteous person. I turn the cupcake around in my fingers, looking for the best angle to bite. Natsuki is quiet. I can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. I wonder if she made it herself. This is really good. Thank you, Natsuki. Why are you thanking me? It's not like haven't I heard this somewhere before? Made them for you or anything. I thought you technically did, Sayori said. Well, maybe, but not for you. But not for, you, dummy. Dummy, you fucking dummy. Alright. I gave up on Natsuki's weird logic and dismissed the conversation. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. That's nice. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I've never tried that. I might do that one of these days. I've been losing the will to read sometimes. I guess. Monica says, don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that, I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad, she says. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Monica raises an eyebrow, then smiles at me. This is so much at once. It's like watching an anime episode and reading along with the fucking script. Which I guess is pretty fair. So what made you consider the literature club? I was afraid of this question. Something tells me I shouldn't tell Monica that I was practically dragged here by Sayori. Christ. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayori seemed really happy here, so that's okay. Don't be embarrassed. We'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. How nice. Monica, I'm surprised. How come you decided to start your own club? You should probably be a board member for any of the major clubs. Weren't you a leader of the debate club last year? Well, to be honest, I can't stand all of the politics around the major clubs. Jesus Christ. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. That's pretty amicable. I enjoy that. And if it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Very amicable, Monica. Very wonderful. Monica really is a great leader. Yuri also nods in agreement. Then I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah, we'll do our best. You know it. Yeah, girls. Everyone enthusiastically agrees, while I sit here in the deepest pit of sarcasm I can. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why they were also delighted by the idea of a new member joining. Though I still don't really know if I could keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. This really reminds me of a romance anime that I can never pronounce the name of, where a dude gets dragged into a club made by his neighbor, and it's fun. It's a good anime. I enjoyed it, at least. So Mikey, what kind of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. And considering how much I've read in the past 20 minutes or so, I think I have a good idea. Manga, he says. I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger, like that. Follow the mouse. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me, like a good video game. And isn't that what we're here to enjoy? Just a couple good video games. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well, like this video game should be, according to the disclaimer at the beginning. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately, and I have a bad feeling as to where this is going to descend. I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. Really, I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri, for someone as gentle as you. I guess you could say that. But if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror, says Natsuki. Oh, why is that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right. You usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? She says. What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called Don't Say It Out Loud. That's a wonderful name for a poem. And give that back, she says. Fine, fine. Your cupcakes, your poems, everything you do is just as cute as you are. Oh, don't we all have that friend that acts cute but is a softie, or acts like a hard ass but is a softie on the inside? Reminds me of my wife. Sayori sidles up behind Natsuki and puts her hand on her shoulders. I'm not cute, she says. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No, she says. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not a very confident writer yet? I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. That is some deep ass shit, and that's gonna live with me for the rest of my life. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I don't think she wants to share. Just letting you know. I guess it's the same for Yuri. I wanted to read everyone's poems, says Sayori. We sit in silence for a moment. Okay, I have an idea, everyone. Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, let's do it, says Sayori. Plus, now that we have a new member, I think will help us get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club, which every good club needs. You need a good bond, or else you're all gonna fall apart like pieces of wood stuck to a square. Isn't that right, Mikey? I agree, Monika. Monika smiles warmly at me once again. There we go. I'm not a very good reader, as you can tell. Hold on, there's still one problem. What's that? Now that we're back to the original topic of me joining the club, I bluntly come forward with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Sayori may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and I lose my train of thought. All four girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. But I'm sorry, I thought. And Natsuki does the little humph thing. I'm defenseless against these girls. What a simp. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? That is, if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. What a good person. Sayori says she's happy. Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. You really did scare me for a moment, says Yuri. If you really just came for the cupcakes, I would be super pissed. Then that makes it official. Welcome to the literature club. Wonderful. I was never in any school clubs because we didn't have any back when I was in high school. And if we did, they were kind of lame. I did start a French club, but I stopped going to meetings after like the third week because the president, or the main chick that ran the club, was a bitch. Alright? After I moved away from my hometown and went to a different high school, apparently they had started an anime club the year after, which kind of blowed. Because I really wanted to join something like that. Or at least like a fucking video game club or some shit. Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monica looks over at me once more. Mikey, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Excuse me. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food. Hey Mikey, since we're already here, do you want to walk home together? And that's right, Sayori and I never walk home together anymore because she always stayed after school for clubs. Sure, might as well, I say. Yay, she says. With that, the two of us depart the club room and make our way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the four girls. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright. I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. Oh boy, oh boy. Pick words you think your favorite club member will like. Something good will happen with whoever likes your poem the most. Okay. I'm not picking suicide. We'll go with raindrops. Atone. Color. Fantasy. Vitality. Embrace. Pleasure. Intellectual. Childhood. Comfort. Rainbow. Peaceful. Love. Dance. Tenacious passion. Promise. Essence. Philosophy. And aura. I think we got ourselves a prize winner here, folks. I think we're gonna be writing for the New York Times in no time. Hi again, Mikey, Monica says. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, Mikey, says Yuri. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Trust me, woman, I've been with the same girl for the past like 5 years. Commitment issues are not my thing. Well, unless it's committed to finishing a fucking game and keeping a good upload schedule, then I am committed to not doing that. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. Sayori told me you didn't even want to join any clubs this year. And last year, too. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. That's terrifying. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature. I mean, it has words. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. Don't worry, guys, says Sayori. Mikey always gives it his best as long as he's having fun. And I'll tell you, I'm having all the fun in the world right now. He helps me with busy work without me even asking, like cooking, cleaning my room. How dependable. I'm very dependable, thank you. Sayori, that's because your room is so messy it's distracting. Ooh, getting called out here. And you almost set your house on fire once. Jesus fucking Christ. It would seem as though my children are not staying down for bedtime. Well, it sounds like one of them is pretty angry. I think I'm probably gonna pack it up for tonight. You know, just for the fact that they're gonna get angry back there. I don't wanna, you know, fuck up the system that the wife has going on, because then I will never hear the end of it. I'll probably just save for now. Yeah, that's a good spot. I'll see you guys tomorrow, or another day, or, you know, whatever.